Okay, so I just wanted to give my thoughts again because I kind of was talking before because I only heard a couple of tracks before of Sudan's new album, Natural Brown Prom Queen, which is her new album, which is like her new album. I know the first couple albums I think came out on vinyl or something, but I don't know if they had actually CDs for them. But I know like her last album, I forget what it was. It might have been just a self-titled album. I forget what it was, but it might have just been the self-titled one where she came out with a CD, and then she's coming out with another CD on this with this one, and I've been debating, going back and forth, debating whether I would get the album, whether I put money and get the album, and truthfully, I probably would get the album. I probably would get Sudan's Archives album because overall, I actually really do like it. The first couple of songs she released, I wasn't sure what to expect, and I was just listening to them, and I was like, I didn't know how to really take the vibe at first. But I mean, as I sat here listening to her, her album, on YouTube, the full album tracks and stuff like that, a lot of them started to really, really speak to me and stuff like that. Where I've really liked, her album and stuff. Of course, some of them are more about her being a freak and stuff like that because she's her, but for the most part, it's a very good album. And I understand what people were saying when a lot of people were praising it, and people were saying they were waiting for the release for its release to come out and stuff like that. That a lot of people were saying it's a very good album. I mean, it's not what I would have originally expected from her, but I mean, I guess everybody when they make an album aims to be better than they were before and different, and be able to raise the bar and raise the standards for their music and how they're going to present themselves and where they're going. So I would call Sudan Archives, I would call her like urban alternative, kind of like an urban alternative type of style, because she has the violin and she kind of has like, she has like this alternative style with like urban, with a little bit of urban beats and stuff like that, but she has a little bit of like, alternative style in there where it's not just really urban, it's like more alternative urban, music, and some of it was still based off of her, her violin playing, which you could definitely hear the violin throughout some of the other songs that she had on her album. You could definitely hear the violin in her performance. So I actually really enjoyed the album. I was actually down to like one last song. I mean, I skipped a couple of tracks which I already heard before, but wanted to hear the rest of the other tracks which I've been listening to for the last, half an hour, 45 minutes, and I'm kind of just chilling here, kind of like, yeah, I'm probably gonna get this album. I probably will get the album as soon as I can try to figure out how to get it, and afford it with some of the other albums I kind of have been waiting on to be released, that were released, or some of the albums that I'm still waiting on to be released, because obviously I've kind of found out too that some of the dates of certain albums and stuff got pushed back and stuff. I think Willow Smith was supposed to be, the 20th of September for Willow Smith to come out with a CD and an album for her new album and stuff like that, and then they pushed it back to October 7th. It could have just been an Amazon mistake where Amazon said, "Oh, it was going to be released in September," and really it's going to be released in October. Um, but the Afghan Wigs just released a really great album called "How Well Do I Burn," and so the Sudan Archives just released Natural Brown Prom Queen the same day. So those two are actually floating around. The tracks and stuff for that are both basically floating around, YouTube and stuff like that. I mean, obviously you can't necessarily put. I mean, when an artist comes out with kind of like a controversial cover, you can't necessarily post it to Facebook or YouTube. I mean, obviously the cover kind of speaks a little bit some of the album's tracks too. That she's kind of more, she's talking about some things and some explicit things, and But for the overall, for the most part, it's a real. I think I really like the album, and I think it's a really good album. I wasn't trying to really put it down before. I just heard a couple of tracks. I didn't know what to expect, but overall, Sudan Archives, she has a really, she has another really great album that she just put out, and I'm looking forward to getting it when I have the money and the time to get it. Um, that and the Afghan Wigs and probably Willow Smiths. I'm going to try to sample Willow Smiths online before. I mean, that's probably the way to do it now. I mean, Amazon used to be able to sample CDs and stuff before you bought them and be able to hear the tracks and make sure it's something you're really interested in. And now Amazon doesn't let you do that. You got to stream everything. And got to do it for free for a while. Then you got to pay for a subscription. So. You can't really sample something before you buy it. That's what I liked about FYE back in the day. FYE, which obviously, is the abbreviation for your entertainment, which was a big, music store, which used to be called Strawberries, that you would be able to go and you can actually go and sample the CDs that they have in the system and actually hear the CD that's in the system before you end up buying it and stuff like that. So you get to actually hear a little bit, maybe not like full-blown tracks. Like now you got YouTube and you can listen to full-blown tracks and, really decide if you want to buy something or not. But I mean, I'm not surprised that I shouldn't expect, not greatness from, Sudan Archives, because, she is a great artist and she has a lot of, unique talent, especially on the violin and stuff, I don't know if it's the first one or the self-titled one. I don't even know if I forgot the name of the album, if it had a name, but the last CD that she put out before this one, I know it was more violin based. This one she's trying to, capture a little bit more of an alternative sound plus an urban sound at the same time. So she's dropping in urban beats and she's dropping in the violin. She's dropping in little alternative styles and stuff like that to, make her music. So I think it's a great album. Overall, I think it's a great album. I would give it 5 stars. And I'm looking to hopefully buy it within the next couple of months before my birthday and before the end of the year. So, anyways, I got a lot planned for this month and for the months ahead that I gotta try to cram everything. I'm trying to cram everything into 1 month, but if I can't, I'm gonna try to have to spread it out into a couple of months, because I had plans for, to get the album actually, or possibly get the album months ago. And I'm just still kind of behind on a lot of stuff, or financially there's still things that I'm still trying to get in order. So, so at this point, I'm excited for, the Afghan Wigs album. I'm excited for Sudan Archives album, and, Britney's done a very good job at, her craft and stuff like that, because Sudan Archives, her real name is Brittany, for those who might not know, her name is Brittany, so, but she's done a really great job in trying to, craft her music and stuff, and I actually, will give the album 5 stars. Just wanted to come on and say that, because I was talking to my mom for a little bit, then I kind of had this idea to check online for the album, because I was talking about the albums to my mom, like, oh, they're coming out with this album, they're coming out with that album, Mom, so I said, I was looking up on YouTube, and I realized that they put more tracks out for Sudan Archives on YouTube, so that's when I said to myself, I'm going to spend some time listening to these other tracks and see how if I can, grasp a little bit more of the album, which I did. She has some really good some really good tracks, another 2 releases that I have not mentioned, I think, was Beth Orton. Beth Orton's supposed to come out with new music. I think this year, or maybe not this year, maybe next year, but she's supposed to come out with new music. Joseph Arthur was supposed to come out with new music, but then he lost his record deal and all this other stuff because he's being controversial and, kind of anti-vaccination and stuff like that, according to some people. So, He's kind of lost a couple record deals and a couple people that, feel like, his outspokenness has kind of granted him kind of like being cut from record deals and etc. So, I mean, right now he's just releasing, Joseph Arthur's kind of just releasing a lot of the new music he was going to release probably on SoundCloud and stuff like that, which you can go on SoundCloud and make a donation, like $1 or $2 donation, and probably get a track or two. But, for the most part, there's one other album that everybody's waiting on, and I'm sure it's going to break the internet. I know this album's going to break the internet for all those who are fans. Some people hate her, and some people don't like her sister either, But Chloe Bailey's album, I'm not sure what it's called. Maybe I think it's called Have Mercy. Maybe it's not called Have Mercy. I'm not sure what she's calling it. But Chloe Bailey's album of the duo Chloe and Holly, but Chloe Bailey, when she's actually coming out with a solo album, one of her solo stuff, I think that's going to break the internet, because everybody says that, Chloe and Holly, broke the internet basically with like all their CDs and stuff sold out really quickly, and all their CDs and stuff right now are very hard to find, and are probably worth money if you find one, So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that when Chloe, gets the demand of her, her album, a lot of people might pre-order and stuff and try to get it as soon as possible. And it might even break the internet, depending on how many people want to get the album and stuff like that, or really partake in trying to support her. So, but yeah, new music, and there's a crow flying outside my window. There's spiders on my windows. Who knows? I got all kinds of animal totems: crows, spiders, But anyways, I'm excited for Chloe's album. I'm excited for all these artists' new albums. Britney's done a really good job with her Sudan Archives album. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the new music. I used to be able to download. I used to have an iPod and used to be able to download, and used to walk everywhere with my with like earbuds in my ear and the music blasting and stuff like that. But I don't do that anymore since I became kind of mediumly deaf hearing impaired. I'm mediumly deaf hearing impaired, so I have medium deaf hearing loss, for those who do not know, which I found out about, I think in 2020, I found out about it because I had gone to the hospital for a hearing test, and they said, "Do you know you're actually mediumly deaf hearing impaired?" I'm like, "No. I actually have medium deaf hearing loss," and they said, "Oh, hearing aids and stuff can't actually do anything about that." So, which I think in a way it's kind of a good thing that it's kind of ending my chapter with, going to live shows and being in a room with loudspeakers and stuff like that, where the music's blasting and etc., where I can't necessarily be able to hear. I mean, I'll definitely hear then, but I mean, I walk out of the thing feel like I'm deaf, or, feel like I'm losing my hearing, and that's never a good thing, I am losing my hearing, but I mean, seriously, losing my hearing more is what I don't want to happen, So, I mean, I have my speakers right here. I got a speaker over here, and I got a speaker over here for my, my computer. And I'm always listening to YouTube for tarot card readings and, music and stuff like that. I'm always on YouTube, or I'm always watching TV, which the TV is right next to me also. Very rarely sit on my couch. I really need to sit on my couch, but my coffee table's never really clear over there, so I rarely sit on my couch these days. Usually just on my bed on my phone, or I'm just like in front of my computer, or, out for a walk. That's the other thing about my weekend too, just to touch up on that really quick, is that I don't have, a good financial base right now to just go out and do things. I mean, I am getting some money at the end of the month. I mean, it's supposed to be actually to cover 2 of my checks that are due at the beginning of October. But if I hold off a little bit, maybe I can, treat myself and, do a little something like that, or maybe I should hold off and wait until the 3rd. Who the hell knows, But, only time will tell. Only things we'll see. It's Sunday. There's not a lot going on a Sunday for me here. Here in Connecticut and Torrington, Connecticut. Not a lot of things going on for me on the Sunday. So, I mean, I live with a lot of older folks, and the older folks play bingo on a Sunday, and that's basically it. Some of the stores close at earlier on a Sunday. So by 5-6 o'clock everything is closed, and so it's pretty much a ghost town by a certain time at night. So, um, anyways, I just wanted to get it out. I just wanted to talk about Sudan Archives album. I give it 5 stars. Brittany, you're hot shit. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, that's all I want to say. So, peace, people.